We're good.
All right, call to order. This is the 5:30 workshop for the Zoning and Planning Committee to discuss the schedule of fees. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we have any additions, deletions, or amendments to the agenda? With no additions, deletions, or amendments, we'll move to citizens from the floor. Would anybody like to speak? Yes, ma'am? I promised a quick meeting, so we're going to be on schedule, I guess. So the reason I wanted to call this meeting, get everybody together, is our zoning fees. They are basically 20 years old. The last time we had an update to the schedule of fees for zoning was in 2007. And obviously quite a bit has happened since then that would bring our need to update some of these fees so that they're in line with what these processes actually cost us. So as part of this process, I put together a spreadsheet with information from Live Oak, Fort White, Columbia County, and Hamilton County, as well as some information on what the recent zoning activities we have actually cost us, as well as what we expect to cost them in the future. And using this information, I updated some of our zoning prices. So we have a new resolution. Its resolution number is going to be, we had to update it. I put it as 2601, but now it's 2603. Some of the changes that I made. So one of the items that we need to discuss is the application is filed with regular amendment cycles. That was something that was included in the original schedule of fees. This is the second page of it. So one more. So this is a process that is not currently defined for us. So 20 years ago, they had some kind of process that allowed people to file applications during a specific cycle to reduce the cost to the town. We don't have that right now. So my question is, do we want to eliminate that from the schedule of fees, or do we want to try to set up some kind of process to bring what we're doing in line with that?
So what all is included with this, if it's within regular amendment cycle, what is that? I know nothing about planning zoning.
Well, that's the problem. That's a process they had 20 years ago. I can basically guess at what I think it was. I think they probably had set dates, probably within a quarter, where they would do all of the zoning at once, and if you did your zoning during those days, they would give you a reduced rate. That would be my guess as to what that meant.
Yeah, years ago, you could only change the zoning, it was all that except the legislation. It got changed, 15 years ago to this type of thing.
So do we just want to strike it then entirely from the fee schedule?
Yeah. If you're not gonna set up those, then just strike it.
So that means we would do zoning whenever somebody wants to get it done? Have hearings and stuff whenever?
Let's go through the procedure.
Is this wording here also part of the wording of the resolution?
I don't know, we're gonna be so much, would it be cheaper for us?
Well, how much is it?
In theory, it would be cheaper for us because we
Okay, yeah,
wouldn't,
we went back.
because we wouldn't have to have Leslie come all the way out here just for one thing.
Y'all got me.
But if,
So,
we have a flat right now.
we can work hard. Make that money, girl.
But any zoning things that normally are held at a normal council meeting, anyhow. You don't normally have special, like we did, is when we were trying to correct some errors and, but in the future, now, they can be scheduled so that they're part of a public hearing, part of a zoning, part of a council
So
meeting.
that's
That's
development
why,
of
just for everybody out there saying that, has it scheduled in conjunction with a, council meeting.
Well, I would like, looking forward into the future, for us to have our own standing zoning board that's not the council, so, and you can still do that within the normal council
Yeah,
meeting.
because you got, you set your dates and council sets the dates and hearings and all.
So you'd only have that first hearing, that would be the planning and zoning board, and then the next is gonna be the council anyway.
Okay, so for the sake of simplicity, should we just strike out the application is filled with regular amendment cycle?
It makes sense to do it that way unless you actually do create a cycle, but I don't think that's, you know, and then you can
That's
go
not
back
even
and
hard.
and then it's just a, you know, it's a resolution, it's an easy fix. But you don't want $1,000 sitting here for a process that doesn't exist.
So strike that completely.
And all these words are going into the resolution as well as the first page, correct?
Correct, so everything up until where it's asking adopted, et cetera, is part of the resolution. All right, so we will strike applications filed with regular amendment cycle law. So I increased the price for amending the text of the land development regulations up to $2,000, which is more in line with what other towns are paying, or charging, I should say.
Okay, but when you compare with these other towns, are any of these places the size of White Springs?
What's the,
There are closest neighbors, would be my answer to that. Geographically.
But what I'm saying is,
You're talking about
when you're looking
population.
at White Springs, we're totally different than all of these other places, which I know we have to have this, you know, certain fees so we can be able to get done what we need to get done also. But if our fees are with Columbia County and with the county itself instead of like Jasper, Jennings or whatever, is that not like some of them I can see is okay, but then some of them I'm like, that's not a lot. Just say like where I'm at now, if I wanted to change the zoning on the other end of my property to something different, is that gonna be, well, it's under, so that'll be 1,500, right?
$1,000.
Depends on what you want done. But yeah, if it's a smaller property, it would be at $1,500. So our issue as far as pricing goes is we have no economy of scale. If anything, it will cost us more money than Hamilton County or more money than Columbia County would spend on this. Because we're not processing 20 of these a month.
We're not charging impact fees. You read about other people charging $3,000 just to come in the door pretty much, you know. But even what they call impact fees for building roads and driveways and stuff. We're just doing this for the administration part of it.
Impact fees would have to be negotiated
Yeah.
during site planning process.
Right.
So,
But we're not charging those, correct?
We're not.
well, we would if somebody comes in and they want to put up a apartment buildings, they're gonna have to pay for infrastructure. We're not gonna waive the fees and go, sure, we'll pay $20,000.
No, I'm talking about the general people.
Yes, for anybody.
Not these big, not these companies that wanna build apartments and stuff like that. I'm just saying, somebody who wants to,
So somebody who wants to just rezone a normal property is not going to get impact fees.
you know,
Because those are usually for bigger.
because even when I was looking over these this to be 2007 fees, I'm like, that was quite a bit back then. That was, to me, it was like you trying to keep people from moving to White Springs.
So it looks to me like you kept the same fee of 15, is that true?
Or,
Amend the comprehensive plan.
some of them are gonna be the same, because they're just in line with
So-
everybody else.
Okay. Because this is less than everybody except Hamilton County.
Which one?
This very first one, amend the text of the comprehensive plan. It's like number 4 down on the sheet that we got. Am I right, or no?
You said Fort White is 3,000, they just did this recently.
First one.
These fees are very much in line with what people pay now.
Then the text of the comprehensive plan.
They gave you this quote for their fees before?
I pulled it off their website. So are you thinking it should be higher than? $1,500?
Wow, their Fort White fees was cheaper than that. Rocky them didn't
Well,
even.
this fee, 1,500 is our
That's what I'm saying,
2007.
they said it was in 2024, so it had to be after November. It had to be around December 2024 if they changed that. I don't remember.
So I get-
But ours is 15.
Why would somebody want to amend the text? Just out of curiosity, because I'm ignorant?
Leslie, do
It
you?
might have been needed.
Look, I've been staring at this wondering, I mean,
I mean, you,
involving permitting, conditional, and prohibited uses, maybe the prohibited uses of certain property.
the flume is part of the comprehensive plan, I don't know why somebody would want to adjust anything other than the flume. And we have pricing for adjusting the flume. I'm sure if I was more knowledgeable, I'd actually know why somebody would come in and want to do that.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is about prohibited uses of certain property, category. If it lists that you can't do X, Y, and Z, and they want to be able to do it, but that could also be a variance or a special exception.
Right.
So I don't know why they would want to change the actual text, but,
But it just be the text for that property, right?
but we have a process for it in the LDR,
Or change it in comprehensive plan.
for changing the text of the LDR.
I have this paper, you want it? Somebody made
No,
it,
there's-
it's really nice.
What is that
Statute
for?
for
Of our LDR?
Yeah, pass this out, too. Let's see if it's on that thing.
Oh, this was the one I created.
I know.
Smart.
Yeah, this doesn't have any, this is not about, like, what you would
There's
have
a lot of
to do to
LDR
change the
stuff in there.
LDR. This is just an overview of our LDRs and some of the issues with them.
So, I'll be checking
You-
on that.
So our LDRs do have, I think, contingencies for for town initiated changes versus individual initiated changes. But
They would be.
I would have to look it up to tell you what those.
But I would suggest you have more in there than you think you're gonna need, and have something come up like we had before, where we didn't have anything, and you've got something you can go back to.
All right, so do we want to increase the amended text of the comprehensive plan then up to 2,000?
That's the lowest.
Increase?
Increase it to
Because
2,000.
the 1,500 was done in 207.
And that's what the county's charging, but other towns are charging 2,000 to 3,000 for it.
It still makes more than you're doing, so.
I would think that's fair.
That's
So
fine.
if we go up, so they griping right now, cause we got to pay 1,500.
They will grant you have to pay $2.
Oh, yeah.
What's your thought, Mr. Garner?
I recommend 1,500, it may probably never happen, but it's here in case, the occasion, and like I said, some of these will never charge, some of these will never, but it's better to have it on the books, in case you need it, than need it and not have it, and then have to go through all the process we're going
Right.
through here.
Now, thinking about the process, because you kind of understand, is $1,500 gonna cover what the process is? I think that's the question.
Yeah.
If somebody needs to amend it, is $1,500 gonna cover the extra legal that Leslie's gonna have to do? And I don't know what else has to be done.
It
We've pretty
should.
much got like the amendment process where it's plug and go.
Mhm.
The individual work would be with the planning consultant, but we have an estimate on that. But we're pretty solid for just regular rezoning.
Now, when you say the planning consultant, would he be part of this changing the comprehensive plan?
No, so we have a contract with him, and that contract has a list of what he charges us.
Do we know what he would charge to? Well, we don't know what they're gonna ask, right?
Yeah, his fees would vary depending on the complexity of the request.
I think we should leave it at 1,500.
I'm satisfied with it.
Alright.
Why you felt like it needed to go up?
I don't even know what needs to be done, so I can't make a judgment
Listen,
call.
when I asked, why would someone want to change it, it said someone would amend the text of the town comprehensive plan to adapt to new needs, correct previous errors, or align with new regulations. Comprehensive plans are meant to be living documents that guide a community's growth and development over a long period, typically 10 to 20 years. A town's circumstances can change significantly during that time, requiring updates to the plan text. And then it has like the common reasons, which now, I understand it better now, if I had to read it too. I don't know.
So, for instance, what if, for, like the zone where, you know, for single-family residents, they now want to include mobile homes, since it's not included in the
It
definition.
can just be that,
They would,
Like, if they wanted to do it, like,
that'll be
overall.
$1,000, right? Like Smithy didn't have to pay?
No,
That's
they want
now.
to change the actual text so that anybody in
Okay.
that zone can
It
now have mobile
says-
homes. I think that would be.
Change the
that'd be
community
the way
needs and visions as the town
Right,
evolves.
well, that it would add language, right, it would include mobile homes for everybody. If you want, if somebody wanted to, and that would.
Within a section or in general.
It could be
In general.
It'd be a section of general, entire
Yeah.
city, or.
Maybe they want to like have a larger impact than just one person. They want all of that zone. And then that would come forward. And it's pretty much the same steps that we did before, you know, it would be the same steps with the notice of hearing, the publication, the 2 hearings. But there might need to be maybe more from the planning consultant to evaluate the impact. You know, because that would be a more large scale impact than just,
Well, would that cost more from Sweeter?
I'm sure it would. I'm sure it would, because that would be, more significant.
Because I could see that
decision.
coming before the board.
Yeah, that could be a more significant, task than just looking at one property and looking at how does this affect the entire town.
And so what do you guesstimate it would be for Mr. Sweeter to run that?
The 2,000 here, I think, because their fees are pretty reasonable. Didn't you think, Robert, their fees were pretty reasonable, like what their estimates were?
yeah, maybe for the flume updates, it was, I think, we said between 700 and 1,000.
And I think that was just when it was them doing it kind of like that first time, that it would maybe be less the next time. But I think keeping it at the 2,000 is probably fair.
Well, it's
Looking
at
at,
1,500.
oh no, for the amended text part here.
That's 1,500.
No, amended text of, that's 25.
25.
I mean, 2,000.
2,000, yeah.
I got
And if you look, that's.
That's
of the LDR versus the
Right.
comprehensive.
We're at the top at the amended text of the comprehensive.
Oh, that's 1,500.
Yeah.
Amended
So that's
text.
fine.
The
1,500
text.
is fine.
Mhm.
And that would,
Might need
that,
to go up on that, but
Text of the comprehensive plan, that's zoning, changing an entire zoning area.
It has to go to state and anything else for.
Amendment comprehensive plan.
And the comprehensive plan is.
for the
like, evaluation analysis report, that you have to do every 7 years.
do we have
that
one?
issue up to.
We have one.
Comprehensive plan.
We have a comprehensive plan, it's, being updated right now by the comprehensive plan committee.
Yeah.
lease in charge of that we have on the 30th. That wouldn't be part of the fee schedule though, because we're updating it as a town.
So once they come up with a plan, anybody that wants to amend it would pay $1,500 as a citizen to amend it.
It depends on.
It's different than just zoning, that's,
Okay? So
This
the
is
LDR would
basically
be,
a petition, so they would come to us and they would say, I want to update this, can you consider it? And then we can say yes or no.
do we say yes or no if they pay the $1,500 or
Yes,
before they pay
that's
the
just the
$1,500?
If they 1,500,
fee
submit
to-
the
To do the
application.
research to see if we want to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that's-
looking at the chart, Hamilton County charges 1,500. Columbia charges almost 3,000, Fort White 3,000, Live Oak 1,500 to 3,000. Do you maybe want to put a range? But-
Yeah.
But then we'd have
But it's
to
less than 50
determine.
acres here, and then we got more than 50 acres.
Mhm.
Now, that's a flume.
Well, that's for the
that can
flume
also be
update.
That's
like
different.
whether
Go
it's
down
a
one more.
development or private.
This is amend, so we're on amend text of comp plan, right?
Correct.
And
That's there.
that's probably never gonna happen.
So that's 4 down on the chart.
Yeah, so that's 2,000 for Live Oak.
Yes, you're right, that's 2,000 for Live Oak. So 1,500 is where we are. It's
That'd
in
be like
line
a
with Hamilton
someone
County.
petition
sorry?
for the strip club here. And our things and our wild stuff of that nature, that needs something to be.
So if they wanted to do that, they bring it to us, pay us 15,000 and we vote, then we research and vote on it.
100.
Huh?
15,000 would be great, but 1,500, you said 1,000.
This is why I don't do money.
And nobody will amend the comp
No.
plan.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, nobody can, so,
So we're still agreed 1,500 is good enough to do that?
I think it is, I feel it.
That one actually, probably up to.
What, Nikki?
1,500 is fine, I was just saying,
Okay.
if somebody is going, if, in reality, once I read what it is and what it entails, that would most likely be a company, wanting to change the uses of that land. And what is allowed to be built or brought into the town. So that's not like the everyday citizen is going to say, I need to change. Say, that's what people that want to do like subdivisions and different little businesses that may not be allowed here now. 15 to 2,000 is not gonna matter. Because it's not an everyday thing. That's gonna be somebody that's gonna be something totally different.
So we're talking about the LDR when we're talking about rezoning, basically, as far as.
I think I would, if you're gonna do the LDR amend text at 2,000, I think it makes sense to do the amendment text of the comprehensive plan at 2,000.
okay, 2,000.
Yeah.
3,000 for comprehensive.
So, are we good with the land development regulations, amendments at $2,000?
Oh, yeah. Check on that, this is 2,000.
Robert, you're over your 10, 15 minutes.
I'm trying to hurry. So amend the text of the land development regulations involving permitted, conditional, and prohibited uses at 2,000. Amend the text of the LDRs not involving permitted, conditional, and prohibited uses for 2,000. You good with that?
Yeah.
I increased the special exemption and variances up to 750 to put us in line with what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Where's that on this page?
Right here. Bill with the Board of Adjustments.
Okay, I see it.
So it puts us in line with Live Oak and it puts us in line with Hamilton County. And it puts us over, depends on the one we're talking about, Fort White.
Yeah.
We don't have one.
I mean, for now, it's kind of not applicable because we don't have a Board of Adjustments who'd be taking care of both of those, but eventually we'll get one, I hope.
Yeah, that's something that the council needs to do sooner rather than later, because that's required by the charter.
Kind of hard to get boards when there's no people.
It sure is, but hey, we keep working on it.
You build it, they will come.
So probably the biggest change that I made is for major subdivisions. I changed it from a set price to estimate by project.
Oh, I like that.
Because that can be anywhere from a small thing to a very, very large thing. And pretty much every other town has like a very complex matrix that scales with the size of the project. And then Hamilton County's just asking for $15,000. So,
15,000, 1,500.
yeah.
Oh, Lord, I see
Yeah,
that.
So we probably will have to take these as they come and get estimates from Clay and figure out exactly how much work is going to go into these before we can even know how much we should charge.
That makes sense.
Are you keeping the
Okay.
minor 1,000?
Right.
And keep the minor at 1,000.
What,
Why?
do you have a
Minor
definition of
subdivision,
minor?
five or six houses or less.
It's defined in the LDRs, but I don't know what the LDR is.
Small.
Can we find
But
that?
before we establish this.
Find in LDR.
So why is that one only 1,000 for the minor subdivision?
That's what we did it for.
That'd be like what we did with Diamond.
No, with that, well, that would probably be minor, let me check. Unless it's about acreage, because it wasn't that many homes.
The plant is only
There's 5 homes on 5
I
acres.
don't know.
in application.
So now I can move back to anybody's plan.
And it's real, building real. That's what.
Then I feel like that tracking out there, I live back on my work on the video.
I thought that's in the community, so that's what the shelter should be supposed to go on.
Anybody thought about it?
The previous council, okay, with the previous council, that's what they were doing because they couldn't put it down by Old Carver because the roads and the area wasn't big enough for the trucks, emergency vehicles to get through. But that was the proposed spot
What's
for
a
that.
special temporary use permit?
Okay, Robert got a question?
I don't know.
Why
It's
is
just on the schedule.
that shouldn't be like more
Where are you?
for this, like, the minor subdivision?
I'm up here.
No, because it should just be, if they were saying 5 or less.
So apply for the
I can look
permit
that
is
up.
about more than 50.
I bet it costs us more than that to go through Sweeter for those 5 houses we did on the Diamond. That was 5 acres, 5 houses.
They gotta find the people to buy up the acres first.
I'm sorry, say it again, Concha?
No, I'm talking about right here for the subdivision.
I think what he's got is fine, really.
You gotta find the people to buy the, lots first.
Okay. Major is any subdivision not classified as minor. Okay, let's go to minor.
You got the answer?
A minor subdivision is any subdivision containing not more than 3 lots fronting on an existing street, not involving any new street or road, or the extension of local governmental facilities, or the creation of any public improvements, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff here.
So the
So-
Diamond would have been major then, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but
Yeah.
Three
Three
is
acres,
kind of
three
the
houses.
cutoff. But then the 3 is even conditional if
You're
those
right.
other things are going on.
So if they needed an impact fee, they would no longer do minor stuff.
Right.
Have we had
I think
people
rest
on
of them are.
Impact fees are project basis. It's something that gets assessed as part of the site planning process.
Right.
Are they, they're not listed on here though, are they?
No, we don't charge them back fees.
No. We don't charge
It's a
them.
whole different ball of wax when you lose.
It was talked about once upon a time, but it never got approved.
Who would need a certificate of land development regulation compliance?
What?
Who would need a certificate of land development regulation compliance?
If they, depends on certain, the building people might need something before they issue permit to make sure it's properly zoned and everything else.
So if we have to send something to Jasper, and the person requesting it, he would pay $50?
Yes.
Okay.
But if it's city, yeah, man. We'll have to come up with a special permit of some, citizen.
Yeah, it's in the LDR.
Yeah, that's in it.
Compliance comes up 61 times, so.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah. It can be compliance with, that it's not toxic, hazardous, or, doing waste disposal, personal people wants. There are a couple different instances.
There were 3 things on the list that I wanted to look at that we don't charge, and we might want to consider charging, but it might be over engineering things.
Which 3 things?
Appeal to the town council, so that would be it for whatever reason. So based on our setup, though, we would have the Board of Adjustments to do appeals. I would assume if the Board of Adjustments is not satisfactory to whoever is doing it, they would ask the town council to intervene. That would have a fee. In here, it's the only people charging it is $100 at Live Oak and $750 at Columbia County. The other one is a written interpretation from attorney or town clerk, so that's when somebody says, hey, can you tell me if I can use my property for this? And instead of just telling them like we are now, we charge them a fee, and then but sometimes we have to send stuff.
That's a service that you provide to me.
All right, so.
What, a written interpretation?
And then there's decision of planning and zoning board.
So I think, to go back about appeal to the town council, the Board of Adjustment, it looks like it's making a recommendation already to the town council on an appeal. So it's already part of the process, it seems.
All right, so let's just strike those 3 that we're not charging off of here, all of the day.
Yes. But I mean, everything else stays the same, like that. Those 30 you talked about, the last one, you don't have on here, right?
Which one?
The ones you just talked about. You don't
Yeah,
have.
they're not on the
They're
list.
not on that one or on the resolution.
They're they're not on the resolution.
Sure,
They're on the
okay.
list.
So what about these over here?
What?
We're just,
Right-of-way use permit, special permit for essential service.
this is just what other people are charging, and I didn't think they were super relevant to us, so I didn't flag them.
What about the solar, that may be coming into play? Y'all think the solar might come into play here?
Somebody wanna open a solar farm in White Springs in our town?
Where do you put it
But,
at?
yeah, they say we're gonna put it there.
Well, I didn't know if it meant like solar on the house.
This piece of here already got solar
Yeah.
panels on
That'd
there.
be a
So it's
building,
not
that'd be a
something
building,
that's
that'd be a
permit.
building permit, thing,
This is
Okay.
solar facilities.
That's Jasper, Robert.
Alright, so I guess we are now
We're a little over your 10 minutes, but good job.
done with this. I did not anticipate so many questions.
When you knew I was
Okay,
sitting
so-
next to you, what's your
So
problem?
we got to take out the application, file regular minutes, cycles, and amend comprehensive from 50 to 2000. Is that the two?
Yep, remove application is filed with regular amendment cycles, and then change amend the text of the comprehensive plan. And then
Change, okay, so
There
Are
we
we having this?
change it, okay.
he already changed it in
What's it, what is the
the, now it's gonna
resolution?
be 03,
26? Or 20?
2603. So
Are we in
starting in
26
October,
already?
it's our.
No, this will be in October, this will be next
So this will be
year.
voted on next month, so we'll make it
Right.
2603?
Right.
Got it.
Okay,
And-
that is the end, so we will adjourn.
Wait, can I have one question?
You can have one question.
Can we post that the fees are available online and without a fee?
Once we pass it.
Once we
Okay.
pass the
Once they're
resolution.
officially passed, they'll need to go on the website.
Okay, never mind.
Any other questions? Then we will adjourn. It is 6:07.